Hey, you guys, welcome to the Women of Power radio show.
Hey, y'all. We're excited to see you. And y'all already know we have an exciting show planned for y'all this evening. So use this time wisely, okay? Time is of the essence. Go ahead, like and share the video. Okay? Yes, all of that. So again, if you're in any group, relationship group, love dating groups, whatever, don't just share on your page. Come on, like spread the love. Share there too.
And make sure you tag 1, 2, or 3 people.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome. Once again to the Women of Power radio show. Listen, as once again, we have another exciting show for you guys. Nana, what are we doing right now?
Right now, we are taking the time to share the video. Y'all know how we do every week. Y'all should know the routine by now. If you're new, this is what we do in the beginning because sharing is caring. You share the video if you're in any relationship groups where y'all just talk about life, single struggles, relationship problems, all of that, and you're allowed to share without getting kicked out. Please use this time to share the video. All right?
Absolutely.
And we can see who can share, who shares and who doesn't. So y'all, please share it. Let me share.
So if you saw the preview, you know we got an exciting topic, and we also have an interesting do and don'ts we're going to go over tonight. That's going to, I think, is going to help one of our listeners that submitted a question. So you guys get your typing fingers ready. Make sure you invite your friends, tag them on in to come on in and share on today. Taibu Muad'Dib, thank you for joining us on tonight. He says, kick me out. We don't know how to do that. But I'm sure if we did, we would.
Oh, you want to be kicked out.
That's what he said, kick me out. But yeah. So as you guys are sharing and liking, I just want to say what a wonderful week this has been, Nana. It really has.
For me, it's been spectacular.
Really?
I took a trip to Broken Bow, Oklahoma. For those of y'all who have not been out there, when I say like it's like a part of the world where nature and like heaven like kiss. It's like they meet and you just see, it's just so pretty. It's beautiful. And we got to see deers running through the woods. Like it was nice. We had a lot of fun.
It's beautiful out there. I love nature, you know.
Yeah,
so
me too.
Like I'm one of the ones that don't have a problem going camping, you know, campfires.
So if you had to choose between the city living and living in the country, you would choose living in the country.
I always wanted to live in the country.
Me too. See, I'm not alone.
I'm gonna be honest with you. After having large homes with large yards, I don't want the maintenance of living in the country, because in the country you got these huge yards, you got animals.
That's when you get the lawnmower that you sit on and just listen to your music, and you know.
In theory, it sounds great, because really that's what I want.
Okay, Zenobia said definitely the country. Me too. Like I've always wanted to have a house on land with a pond, a tree with that tire swing, like in the movies. You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted, and I'm gonna have it. Like that's my end goal.
Well, my end goal is a high rise right now. That's where I want to.
All right, y'all. So we are gonna jump right into this. Hope y'all are ready. I just realized we didn't. This color we can keep. We never change.
No, change it. So you guys, we're gonna try to coordinate here. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe not coordinate, but just blend in. So do you guys like our living room? My new grand piano.
Yay? Nay? No. It's good.
Yeah.
All right. All right, y'all. Let's start with this one. So we have a very different kind of topic on tonight. This one could actually be a matter of life and death for this viewer. So I really need you guys to put on your thinking caps and give her some good advice. All right. Okay. So we have a woman who wrote in and she said, look, and she specifically said, please don't judge. So y'all, please don't judge.
No,
she said that her boyfriend is currently in prison for attempted murder. Okay. But he's been behind bars for some years, 4+ years. And in that time span, she had a love connection with one of his close friends. Now, not only did she have a love connection, but sis had a love child. Now, they got a child together and now they're engaged. And her question is, considering he's already locked up for attempted murder, should she tell him while he's locked up, or should she wait until he's released and let him know? So what should she do? And I think actually it's like more than... they're still not married, so to speak, but it was her fiance. They were engaged when he got locked up. So Yeah.
So she was engaged to the guy when he got locked
Yeah.
up, and since he's been locked up, she started a relationship with his friend that has resulted in a child, and now they're engaged.
Yeah.
And during this whole period of having children and getting engaged, they have not said not one word to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we first started the show, we talked about city living versus country living. We got some comments. Let's get through those, and then we're gonna jump right in on this question, because this is very interesting. And like you said, did you say it's life and death because he's in there for attempted murder?
Yes, because we told the wrong thing. That's why I said, like, this is a very important night, y'all. We need to be here for her.
Oh my!
Terrible. I watch enough crime TV to know. Relisa said, "I live in the country and I love it."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's beautiful, Melissa.
Zenobia said, "I want a color purple house, mister."
You don't want mister, trust me.
With a big porch.
But you want the color purple house. Okay.
Taiwu said Zenobia's playing hooky.
Yes, for the second week in a row. But at least she's on and she's commenting. Come on, girl.
Getting engaged. Zenobia said he's not getting released, so tell him.
But she said something about him getting out, right? Should they tell him before he gets out?
So I think he's going to be getting out, like maybe, I don't know, sometime soon. But even still, you know how there's some people who are so powerful that even behind bars, they can still reach you through other people. So I think it's one of those kind of things where he's kind of like big in the street. So if he doesn't do something, that doesn't mean nothing's going to happen to him.
Yeah. So I just want to say what concerns me is that she said, my boyfriend is in prison. She didn't say my ex.
No, they were engaged, so they were in a relationship.
Right, but when you say my boyfriend, it means like he's currently my boyfriend.
Yeah, because she never broke up with him. She's been cheating.
Right, that's what scares me.
That's the issue.
So that means she's got to be writing him letters, telling him everything is cool.
Right,
everything is copacetic. I can't wait till you get out, babe. Oh, this is a mess. Yeah, okay, now it's coming into perspective.
Taibu said it's gonna hit worse if he hears it from someone else.
Absolutely.
I know the streets be talking. Somehow they always find out what's going on.
I don't know how he has not heard something already. Mm-hmm. They done had a child and now they're engaged. That's pretty public.
Taibu said his friend was super thirsty.
Not necessarily.
I mean, have y'all seen that? But it's a true story that the series For Life that's on Hulu about the man who was like wrongfully locked up. They gave him life in prison for selling drugs or what, but he was innocent. Mm-hmm. But long story short, same thing happened to him. But he ended up becoming an attorney while he was in prison, and then like defended all the prisoners. And then now he came out and he's like a practicing one. But his friend did the same thing, linked up with his wife. Zenobia said, "Man, she better do something to help him stay in."
Hey, Rakita, Chris, thank you for joining us.
Like what, Zenobia? What could she do?
I don't know.
Taibu says, Zenobia Harvey, you got ice in your vein.
What? That's so random.
Okay. Yeah. No, they never broke up. Zenobia.
So they never broke up. So that's the crazy part. That's what threw me off when you said her boyfriend is in prison and she's dating his friend and they have a child and now they're engaged. I just kept wondering, like, why wouldn't you say ex-boyfriend? So then that puts a whole another twist on this thing. Mm-hmm. And that's why I do understand now why this is a life and death question. Because if he did it before, he could do it again.
Exactly. And it said attempted. This time it might just be
it wasn't attempted murder on her.
No, it wasn't on her. But I'm
just
saying
attempted murder.
That means he wasn't successful. So who's to say this time he's not gonna
not gonna be successful. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. She messed up not telling him from jump. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be honest with you. Even if she tries to have a mature conversation with him, how do you explain that while you've been locked up, I've been pretending to be your girlfriend while I'm sleeping with your friend, had a child with your friend, and now engaged to your friend, and I haven't said nothing to you in 5 years? How do you explain that? Like, what do you say? How does that conversation go?
That's why she's asking us. So I don't know. He said y'all show finna go viral.
Yeah.
We claim it. All right.
Thank you.
Zenobia says, so does the friend know that she still calls him her boyfriend?
Does his friend?
Yeah.
I'm sure he knows she has not told him that.
Yeah. I mean, y'all know how side dudes play their role. This
is my thing though. No. If that's his friend, why hasn't he as a man said something to his friend? Because
he knows his friend is in there for attempted murder. Like, he's not crazy.
He's not about that life.
Clearly. Taibu said if her boyfriend's homies roll up on his ex-friend and handle that betrayal.
What?
Yeah.
Her boyfriend told me roll up on his ex-friend and handle that betrayal. And that's possible. That's possible. I'm sure that's probably some things that they're fear, some things that they're contemplating.
The retaliation.
Hey, Robert Billick, thank you for joining us out of Louisiana on tonight. How you doing, sir? Yeah, so she's in a conundrum.
Taibu said Zenobia, of course, that's what makes this so bogus. Yeah, the fact that they never broke up. Yeah.
That's scary.
Because it's Texas. I don't know what y'all talking
Hey,
about.
Mary Martin, thank you for jumping in on tonight on the Women of Power Radio Show. Check out the questions scrolling on the bottom of the screen. And Nana's got more details, which she'll go over again in a minute. Go ahead, Nana.
Yeah, so again, we have a young woman who wrote in and said that she is engaged currently. But before she was engaged currently, she was already engaged to a man who is serving time in prison. He's been away for some years since she has had a love connection with his friend and has had a child with his friend. And now she's engaged to his friend.
Yeah.
So she wants to know, considering he is locked up for attempted murder. Okay, let's think about that. Should she tell him while he is behind bars and fear retaliation in the sense that he can have somebody do something, to them, whatever? Or should she wait until he's out to drop the bomb on him?
Something.
Right.
I mean, if he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it whether he locked up or I'd rather him try to do something while he locked up than him be out in person and trying to attempt murder. But Mary, we can't make this stuff up because this right here it's what do you call it? This is a situationship. Is that what you call it? This would be a situationship. Yeah. This is like when you could look up situationship.
The epitome.
This story is in there. Okay, so she wants some help, y'all. So let me just confirm. She just wants us to tell her. Should she tell him before he gets out or after?
Why, yeah.
Okay, y'all. The question is out there.
Mary. Hey, Mary. Mary said, "Nah, don't tell.
Don't tell him at all, Mary. Just let him come.
Yeah, don't tell him at all. Or you saying don't tell him while he's behind bars?
Because when he's gonna find out. But first of all, she needs to stop writing him, and she needs to stop corresponding with him at all. Now, unfortunately,
giving him false hope.
Yeah, it is. If you said I love you, can't wait till you get home, and then he come home and you engaged and got a whole baby with his friend, that will make somebody go into a murderous rage. But I think that a lot of times, and to be honest with you, I think she needs to cut it off because a lot of times we as women and even men think if I just ignore them, they'll get the hint. But how many of you know they don't get the hint?
And in prison.
And they're not going to get the hint. He's going to keep writing. He's going to keep calling, collect, if they still do that. Yeah, I don't know how it goes down. But now they can put money on a card and make calls.
Now they got apps.
Yeah, now they got apps and all kind of stuff. So, wow. This is
Yeah, so I would say,
girl,
Mary said, live your life, sis, and move on. And then she came back and said, fake her death and send him an obituary.
Now that's taking it really far.
Because all it takes is the homeboy to see him and be like, wait a minute, didn't you,
Did you do this one?
Which one?
Zenobia.
Oh, no. She said, Zenobia said, the thing is, what kind of attempted murder was it? Like, he might not kill her.
What do you mean, what kind? It's attempted murder, which means...
Attempted means that the goal was to murder. They just weren't successful. It doesn't mean that they purposely tried to not kill you. That means they tried. They just weren't successful in that moment.
What you mean? Was it a knife? Was it a gun? Does it matter? He tried to kill somebody and he was convicted of attempted murder. And the only way you can be convicted of attempted murder is they have to prove that you intended to murder somebody.
Exactly. It's called a mens rea. Yeah. You have to prove the bad act. That's what they call it. If you can prove that there was a bad act that showed intention, it's murder.
Yeah, so this guy has obviously attempted to murder somebody. Whether it was a knife, a gun, a poison, a dart, an arrow.
Zenobia said, man, he probably got charged for something he didn't do. Free my boy. Girl, it's not like them people know your friend guilty and gonna put him on a t-shirt. Free so-and-so. Now you were there and you saw what he did. You tried to take a knife. We ain't doing that. So yeah, I don't know. I would say, me personally, I would tell him again while he's behind bars. I feel like if he's gonna touch you or try to reach you, let him do it. Let him figure it out while he's locked up, as opposed to him being in your face and having free reign to reach you. Yeah, however he sees fit. Like, why do that? If he's gonna be upset either way, let him be upset and restrained.
Yeah, because he's gonna go through some emotions.
Right.
You know, he's gonna go through the anger, the crying.
He might even send you a letter and tell you how he's gonna kill you.
Right.
Because some of them be crazy and forget. The prison people read that stuff before they send it out, so
and you won't get it.
Exactly.
But
and
you gotta cut off once you send that letter. You gotta cut off all correspondence, sis. But I feel like you need to tell him. Now I don't know if you need to go into details that we had a baby, and that
lost connection. Can y'all hear us still? Let me check.
It just says click here to reconnect your destination. Yeah. It's showing it's still on.
Okay.
So yeah, so I would say, I don't know if I would go into detail about the fact we had a child and that we're engaged. I don't even know if I would bring the other guy into it, because the reality of it is you just need to break up with him for yourself.
That's it. That's the easy way to get out.
Yeah. Don't even mention the friend, baby, because just let him know I'm not waiting.
Do you value your life?
I'm moving on. I'm moving on to different things. Don't worry about what I'm moving on to. I'm just moving on.
Yeah.
So I would recommend writing just writing a letter, because I believe we have to be honest with each other. You know,
I mean, it can be nice.
But I mean, sometimes we're so nice, people miss the point of what we're saying because we're so worried about hurting them. Yeah, we're so worried about hurting them and coming across the wrong way. No, if you come across, it's okay to come across the right way. The right way is it's over, and don't look for me when you get out. You know, I'm in the wind. And then Mary had a good point. You might want to move, sis. And the only reason I say that is because you know him. And the fact that this is a life or death situation for you, you know
what he's capable
of. And especially if you were in an abusive relationship or a relationship where you've seen him go clickety clack over small stuff and do some violent things, you got to think about your child. Mm-hmm. You got to think about your fiance. If he ain't thinking about himself, you might have to think for him. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I feel like some of this burden need to be on him.
The friend?
Yeah. I mean, but she didn't say best friend.
No, she just said a close friend.
She said a close friend, which is not just a friend, it's a close friend.
Yeah.
Oh my. At some point, he should have been like, as a man, I need to let my bro know. Especially when she found out she was pregnant.
But I mean, let's be honest. Y'all think he really looking at him like my bro if he's sitting here with his fiance? No, he ain't thinking about that. That's what caused him to get to the point where he's at now.
Well, obviously it was his bro before he left. Right?
Wasn't too much of a bro.
Okay.
As Zenobia said, I wonder in situations like that, can she forewarn the authorities just in case he tries to come after her when he gets out? So me loving Investigation Channel and seeing cases like this in real life, they don't care.
They don't care.
They will tell you they can't do anything until they do something. Even if you were free and he were threatening her, literally until he broke into her house or physically did something, they'll say, "Oh, there's nothing we can do."
And so that's so frustrating.
All you can do is get the strap.
Because you said you watch what?
ID Investigation Channel.
Okay.
And there's cases like that all the time.
I watch a lot of stuff. You already know that.
There's dark desires, obsession, especially on obsession. That's what people will say. I tried to get a restraining order. I tried to, he's doing this. He's calling me multiple times a day. He's leaving notes in my car. They'll look at all the stuff the person is doing and be like, well, did he hurt you? Well, when he hurts you, call us.
Yeah, well, if he hasn't done anything, there's nothing we can do. So I got to wait till I'm dead to call you. I got to wait till he kills me.
Or slashes you, cuts you.
Or burns my house down. Come on. I'm trying to do some preventative measures. But
that's why everyone get your CHL, okay?
CHL.
Learn how to shoot a gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just do that. Protect yourself.
Some of us know how to shoot guns without CHLs, but the point is that to be legal. I mean,
we're in Texas, technically.
Technically, everybody got a gun, or if you don't,
you don't even need that.
You've had access at some point. You shot at some time outside in the backyard with a 45 Magnum with some cans. I'm just saying that's my story.
That's real specific. I was about to say, that was real specific.
Yes, but that was in LA, girl. I mean,
clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crippin' life. I feel you. Yeah. Mary said she did. Oh, she done played herself though.
She did because she let it go too far, and sometimes that's the case. Like you may be living in a situation, but when you let it go too far, like she's at the point of no return. Like she
might not.
We're back.
Sorry, y'all. Technicalities.
Yes.
But yeah, you were saying, what were you saying?
I was just saying she's gone to the
She
point.
went too far, point of no return.
I agree with Mary. She's
Okay.
gone to the point of no return.
All right. Hey, Dre. Dre said, just break up. Don't even bring up the other guy and explain how she can't handle him being in prison. Let's be realistic. It's hard to be in a relationship like that.
It is.
It
and
is.
5 years?
Have any of y'all ever been in a situation like that where your boo or babe was behind bars? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
For how long? How long did they get?
Maybe.
How long?
Huh?
How long were you made to wait, girl?
Oh, I wasn't made to wait.
I mean, how long were you expected? Because you know to wait. How long did you get?
I was expected to wait 20 years, which is not realistic. How long did I wait?
A couple months.
Listen,
see you on the outside.
Because see, this is back in the time when it was collect calls. It wasn't no cards. It wasn't no put money on, so they could call you.
Yeah.
It was collect calls. And man, by the time I got that second
Bill.
collect call bill, I was like, oh, this ain't gonna work. I can't do this for the next. I don't even know how long. But I was young. I was down to be down.
Mm-hmm.
But I really wasn't down.
Yeah.
I really wasn't down.
Zenobia,
I want to live. I want to live.
Zenobia said this guy followed his ex across country, and when she finally thought she was safe, he broke in her house and killed her. And that happens so often. That's really the thing.
And that's unfortunate. Like, what is it about that individual that makes it to where they can't move on or they can't handle that you don't want them anymore? It's like you're their world. And that's why we got to be careful of people who are cloying and I was going to say cloying, which means they hang clingy and that need you all the time. I need to talk to you. I need to see you. It's like, oh my God, I can't meet all your needs and Jesus' needs and my needs and my kids' needs and my job needs. I need you to be an independent individual and let's bring our individuality together as a team.
But they try to make you their identity.
World.
And it's like, they're one. That's why I say when we were younger, in puppy love, high school, whatever, when you're my world, it was like so cute. But like I said, now that we are grown and mature and we've seen all these, when people say stuff like that, to me, it's the red.
That's
flag.
A red flag.
That is a red flag.
Like you don't depend on me for everything because I can't. I'll let you down. The only person you can depend on for everything is Jesus, and He's only here. There's no failure in Him. I'm human. I'm flawed. I make mistakes. I will fail you. I will miss a big promotion at your job. I will forget your birthday. I'm flawed. I'm not perfect. So when you put everything into me or everything into Nana or everything into anybody, male or female, you know what I'm saying?
Get a return investment.
That's not healthy. That's not healthy.
Jameson said, "Hey, Jameson.
Hey, Jameson.
In Texas, file a report for harassment. It continues. It goes to stalking. If continues, it goes to stalking. Also, in Texas, you can do that.
Really? Even though, but you have to have proof. So that means she would have to record their phone conversations or keep the letters, or you know what I'm saying. Or now they can email you. So she would have to keep the emails and then use those as proof that she's being threatened. So thank you for that, Jameson. Is he an attorney?
I have no idea.
You attorney?
You knew? I don't think I've seen
right. Well, thank you for jumping in from YouTube. So thank you for joining us on tonight. So yeah, that's good to know. Because to be honest with you, I've helped women that are victim of abuse. Women's, all kind of women's. Tall, short women's. Light, dark women's, all kind of women's, and these women's. No, I'm just joking. And I know the struggle of trying to. Oh wow, okay. Sorry, officer, Mr. Officer. No, but yeah, and so I know the struggle of trying to get protection, and I know the struggle. I mean, there's just not the manpower is not there, and so I know it's hard. So thank you for that information, officer.
Yeah. But I just have, this is like a side question. Okay. If you were in a relationship, let's say if it was your fiance, because with her, they were engaged, or you were married, and for whatever reason, your significant other did get locked up and got handed down some time, would you be willing to wait at all? Or does it just depend on how long they have? I want to know, like, what is your limit? If your significant other or spouse was to be locked up, how long would you wait before you chunk one of these.
Right. I would say when I was younger, I think my morals were more loose.
Mhm.
And so I'd be like, oh.
That little tongue click lets me know you want to wait but 2 seconds. Anyway, anybody
no,
else?
No, what I mean is that I was
That
more,
was that.
I
I'm about
was
to be
more,
outside up on the street. That was
no, I'm saying I was more acceptable of maybe somebody who did a crime.
Oh,
maybe which the statute of limitations is over, officer. But I may have done some crimes when I was younger.
You're gonna go look it up right now. What is your name?
Don't. You ain't gonna find no evidence. But the point is that
California, you said.
Hey, don't put my business out there. But
You
anyway, I know I did. But I was more. I guess my morals were more relaxed. Whereas now, if I'm engaged or married to somebody and they commit a crime where they go to prison, no, I'm not gonna stick with you. That's wrong. That's wrong. What is someone doing?
He said no judgment here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, we lost a connection.
We did. It's just that. Oh wait, we are stuck right now.
Click here to return to connect to your destination.
Yeah, that's what I just did. So let's see. I was saying now we're connected again.
Oh, beautiful. It says we're back. Great. Okay, so thanks for the no judgment, officer.
Yes.
Mary said it depends on the crime. Oh, so you're willing to even do the time depending on the crime. Yeah, okay. We got a ride or die on our hands. Anybody else? How long would you be willing to wait if your significant other got locked up? I would say, let's just make it a simple crime. So we can all
make it. It depends on the crime.
Like what? A bank robbery? Let's just say it was like a heist.
That's not a simple crime. That's a major federal crime.
They didn't kill anybody. Let's say if it was like a heist.
It's a federal crime.
Okay, so what's the simple crime?
That is not simple.
So what's the simple one?
Like a non-federal crime? Like burglary of a habitat, which is still bad.
Okay, so they broke into somebody's house.
Caught with some weed. That's a simple crime.
Okay, so they were caught with some weed.
I'll stick with you. A little while.
But let's just say they got caught with some weed and they were already on probation. So they got caught with some weed.
Now they're going to prison.
Now, yes, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm talking about some time. I ain't talking about months. I'm talking about like at least we're looking at a year or two minimum. Would you be willing to wait that long, or would you go back to the streets?
It depends on our relationship, and like I said, it depends on the crime.
The crime is weed.
Oh yeah, I'll stick with him.
Oh,
but what was he on? What was he on probation for though?
The same thing. He just violated probation. Yeah.
That's not very smart, which to me says that he's not making good judgment decisions.
So what does that say about you?
What that says to me is that I want to stay?
All right, so Mary, if he's in there protecting me in some way, form, or fashion, I'll hold it down. If he's in there protecting you, so you're talking about kingpin? What you talking about? If he's in there protecting me?
No, she's saying if he went to jail because he was protecting her.
Oh, for protecting me. Yeah. I thought you said if he's in there protecting me. I was like, girl, how are you protecting you? But you must want one of those like drug guys. Okay.
No.
He said, nah, he's dumb.
Yeah, he's dumb. If he's on probation for weed and then he get caught, come on now. Do you not value me and our relationship and our family and our life together?
Some of them really do try.
Put the weed down.
But recidivism is the real thing. Y'all understand? So it's like when you come out, and that's the unfortunate thing about once you get in the system, you come out and you feel like you're rehabilitated. But employers are looking at you like, well, now you're still a criminal.
But they do. But you have to ask yourself a question. I think the recidivism rate is lower, but why do you think it's so high? Because
they're not being afforded a lot of opportunity. Because I've seen it firsthand. I've worked at places where they'll be like, the guy was so great, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes they even offer them the job and don't wait for the background check to come back first. And it could be something from 6 years ago, 10 years ago. They haven't gotten in trouble since, but just because it's on their record, all of a sudden they rescind their offer and like, no, never mind. And so it's kind of unfair because we say we want you to go to prison and do something with yourself. We don't want to see you back before the courts. But when they try to do something with themselves, no one wants to give them a chance. And then they have no choice because the bills are still being piled up. They still have a family to take care of. They still got kids. So what else can they do? The only thing they know how to do, which is what got them locked up in the first place. And then boom, they get into a cycle.
Right. But I think part of it, that is the issue, is that the prison is supposed to be a place of rehabilitation, but there's not much rehabilitation happening. They may teach you a skill. They may let you go to a computer class.
Even aside from rehabilitation.
But so they're coming out with the same mindset.
Not necessarily. I'll put it this way. I feel like even if there's not a real rehabilitation program, quote unquote, going on, a lot of times when they do go in,
they feel like they have to go back to that life because there's no opportunities.
Right. So it's not necessarily, I feel like they come out wanting to do that, but it's like, I've seen where they've actually, they're trying and it's just not working out. Even in doing the homeless ministry, when we talked to a lot of the people who are homeless, like a lot of them came right off the bus, you know, and when you're trying to get a job, you have to have an address. When you're trying to get a job, it's like there's resources for them, but there's not a lot. So if you're trying to do that, and you don't have good clothes to go to an interview, or you don't have an address to put down on your resume, those things make a huge difference on whether you can even find employment to begin with.
But I've seen both spectrums. I've seen people come out of prison and be successful and be able to hold down a job and be able to have a successful life as a, you know.
Yeah, hold down a job, right? That means somebody gave them one.
Right. Okay, so like this is something I haven't shared before, but you know, when I did 10 years in prison, when I came out, you didn't catch it.
10 years in prison.
I'm joking.
I know
because y'all always say I reveal something every week, but that's not a revelation on today. But no, I've seen people who have done 20 years and come out and be successful, but it's their mindset. Like, I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to keep going. Whereas there are people come out and get discouraged because the doors aren't opening. So I've seen doors open. I've seen doors not open. I don't know what the difference is into why these doors open for this individual and why they open for that one. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. We as a society do not make it easy for people coming out of prison to infiltrate back into society. So
not at all. Not at all. In Ghana, if you go to prison, you go to prison when you come out, unless it has to do with rape or murder. There's no such thing as a record because they look at it as your punishment was you doing the time. You
but there is such thing as a record because when you do your background check, it still comes up. The crime still shows up. The arrest record shows up. The crime still shows up. In Ghana, girl, that's the part I was missing.
Oh yeah, no, I was saying like once you've done it, you're good. Oh, you lost connection again?
No, sure, we're still.
Oh no, it says denied access to your page. There we go.
You know what? I don't know why Facebook is messing with us, but
because we're talking about the prison system.
Maybe they're like, shut them down. But listen, we're getting ready to move on. So let's get these last comments. Yeah.
Okay, so Novia said, I can't say I'll hold him down if he was protecting me. What if he gets 20 years? That means you're single. All right. All right. Next, she said, I've seen some people really try and folks turn them away. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And it's so it's disheartening, you know, to see that because I mean it's not fair. I just feel like it's not right. And we hear y'all. Okay, good. So
right. So they can hear us when we say I think we're disconnected. Okay, awesome. No, because we're getting these strange messages that keeps popping up on the screen that says that, you know, we are disconnected. So I'm glad we're still here with you guys. What we got next now?
All right. So in conclusion, I agree with Kasha. I'm just going to say that you should go ahead and write, and even what Dre said, write a letter and just explain to him that because he's behind bars, you just don't think it's a relationship that's conducive to what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go, and leave your friend, his friend, your fiance, the child, leave all of that out of it. Just say that you're breaking up because he's in prison, and may the Lord be with you.
Okay.
Anything else you wanted to add?
No, I 100%, 1,000% agree.
All right. So on to our next topic, y'all. So we have a young man who wrote in and he said, you know what? I keep getting clowned by the homies because they keep saying that my online dating profile sucks and I'm not really having a lot of success. So can you all please go over the do's and don'ts of online dating? Now, considering we live in a world where social media platforms are everywhere, especially when it comes to dating, there are a ton of websites you can get on, from Tinder to Bumble to Hinge to even Facebook has Facebook dating. There's so many of them. It's easy for you to meet people in a sense, but it's hard for you to meet the right kind of people a lot of times based on what you're putting out there. So if you are online dating or you've had experiences with online dating, you have some even horror stories you want to share or some interesting stuff, please go ahead and feel free to put it in the comments. But we're going to jump right in on some do's and don'ts of online dating. So I'll start.
Go.
I was watching another special that had to do with online dating, right?
Okay.
They were talking about men, the kind of pictures that you all put on there. With women, y'all know we try to get our best angles. We try to like look cute and everything. A lot of the guys, the pictures they were posting were for, if you're looking, let me be clear here. If you're actually looking for something substantial, okay, because let's be clear, everyone that gets on these dating platforms, a lot of them are looking for hookups, and their pictures are tied to, yes, very thirst trappy, you know, shirt off, showing my abs, that kind of thing. Right. But if you're on there and you're saying that you're looking for a certain caliber of woman, then your profile should reflect that. You shouldn't, once again, the money on the ear, holding whatever.
Oh, just hold. No, you see, I've never seen that on the dating profile.
You haven't?
No.
Some of these guys out here wilding. Money on the ear, you know, just in a environment that looks, you know, who in their right mind would want to take you seriously? It doesn't. Nobody. Right.
Flav.
That kind of thing. So pay attention to the kind of pictures that you post. What they said is they did a survey, and women love to see men in their element. So if you like to play basketball, if you have a dog, those kinds of things where you're just like taking pictures of showing a little bit of your personality.
Yes.
We love to see it. We love to see it.
Right. I would say don't look for perfection, because a lot of times we shoot ourselves in the foot because we're looking for someone that's perfect. And the reality of it is none of us are. Right. Nobody's perfect. We all have idiosyncrasies. So you got to separate your deal killers from the things that you just don't particularly like.
Right.
Because some things can be fixed. We had some fun on the show last week when we were talking about, you know, people with missing teeth, you know, and all these other things that can be fixed. So you've got to figure out what are your deal killers. As Zenobia, we already know teeth is one of your deal killers, but that's not for everybody. So you've got to be able to separate that so that you can actually not just push everybody away because they don't meet up to your desires. Because if we just look at what we desire, I mean, of course, we desire
a lot.
Somebody with Donald Trump checkbook, you know, with a 12-pack or 6-pack, and you know, blah blah blah. That's what you desire, but you got to separate what you desire from your deal breakers. Okay, so don't look for perfection.
All right. Another one they said was the speech. Right. Of course, we're not looking for perfection for your grammar to just be A1, but try to have punctuation and in what you talk about. Another thing too that was really surprising on the show that I was watching, they did, like I said, this little special where they brought in all these different people to share their online dating experiences. And there was a woman who said, you know, there was a guy, his profile picture looked great. You know, he worked on Wall Street. He was like a broker or something like that. They seemed like everything was going great. They went on this date. They went to the gym because they both like to work out. So that was like their thing. So what they were also saying is when you put your profile up, make sure to put things that you're interested in, so that when someone decides to write you, that can be a point of reference. Because a lot of people were saying they hate getting hey, hi. But then they were like, well, what do you want them to say? If your bio doesn't have anything, like they can't really, there's nothing for them to say aside from hi, what they were saying. But if you say like, hey, I enjoy karaoke and blah, blah, blah. Oh, karaoke, like, what are some of your favorite songs? Like, yeah, they can ask you a question that can lead into a conversation as opposed to you getting, hey, okay. So that's another thing. I'll tell the broker story in a minute.
Okay.
Did you have another one you wanted to add?
Yes. Don't assume that somebody's not interested in you, because a lot of times the way we feel about ourselves and how we look will cause us to assume. Did you hear that? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's thunder and lightning, or it's a very, very low plane. But don't assume that people aren't interested in you, because if they reach out to you in your inbox, they are interested in you. And so a lot of times if they don't do and say what we think a person interested in you should say, we'll be like, oh, they just must want some conversation, or they just must wanted to, you know, just must have wanted to say hi. But people will not just reach out if there's no interest. So
that part.
Stay confident. You look good, girl. You look good, guy.
Also, y'all feel free to give some tips on some do's and don'ts of online dating that you've come across, or something that you learned in your experience with online dating. Another one, which we all know, this is like a real big one. Make sure you use a fairly recent photo. Okay. Don't go putting up your cutest picture from 10 years ago when you know you don't look like that anymore. If you've known you've gained some weight. Either way, if you know you're going to show up and there's going to be a double take, like, wait a minute, is that the same? Don't use that picture. Okay. Because even though that may be what attracts them, they're going to be disappointed, and there'll be an issue when they meet you face to face. And you don't ever want to start off as a catfish.
Right. You know what? This next one, I struggle with it because I am, and I'm wondering if I'm too old fashioned in my thinking, concerning dating, because I really connect dating back to how they dated back in the 50s and the 60s, how the man pursued, how the man, would show up with flowers, how the man, made all of the moves. But what I found out is that they're actually saying do be confident and make the first move. And they said they did a study, and the jury is in that men really do prefer women who make the first move. And I was like, what? That's what I said. But what they're saying is that they don't prefer women who make the first move because it alleviates them having to do anything. But it says they prefer it because it shows them that the woman is confident, and confidence is a turn on. But I'm like, but we the same way. Confidence is a turn on for us. So when men make the first move and they're confident in themselves, so why? I gotta focus on turning you on.
That's a double-edged sword, because even though it's helping in their department where they feel like, oh, you're confident. For me, it would just still be kind of like, I wouldn't say that you're weak, but
it feels out of order to me. Yeah, it feels so
like,
out of order.
Do you have the capacity to lead at all? Like, I feel like if you do, you should start off doing that and then I can always jump in after you've already initiated the fact that you can do that. But if I just lead it off, I feel like I'm setting the tone, and then it'll always be me initiating and leading. And I don't want to do that. So we ain't gonna do that. All right. A second tip. All right. Do not put your profile picture as you in a group photo or a photo with your friend.
Please, because like, which one is it?
Because what happens most of the time, and a lot of the guys were saying this, and it was so funny. They were just like, women, we don't know if y'all do this when you know your friend or whoever it is, your sister, whoever it is looks better than you, and you feel like because you know your friend looks better, that it's going to pull people to your profile. You still do yourself a disservice, because either way, we're getting pulled there just to be disappointed. Because when they realize that you're the lesser, cuter friend, then they're still not going to swipe on you or message you or whatever. So if you're, or they said you might even be really attractive, but if your friend looks better than you, it makes you look less attractive, and so they don't feel the need to message you because they're like, oh man, because they saw something else right next to you. Don't give them the option, baby. Just let it be you and you only, okay? Fellas, the same thing. You and your homeboys, y'all are out. Just let the profile picture be you. You want to include that down the line or wherever, like not the main picture, do that, but don't make it the main profile because they might want your friend. Okay.
And sometimes we put those pictures up, and I say we because I've done it before, but it wasn't like a group of like 8 people. I think it's like me and my sister, but because we think we look really cute in that picture
together.
But just cut yourself out and just use that one little piece. Don't limit your online dating searches. You know how it allows you to choose your preferences.
Hey, Tara Butler Jones.
How you doing?
Hey, I love y'all. Huge fan.
Yeah, we're talking about the do's and don'ts of online dating. So, but you know how sometimes it'll ask you like height preference, and you'll put like 5'11" to 6 feet, like, and you limited yourself to such a small pool of people. So they're recommending that you open up the pool to say maybe 5'8" to 6'3", because there's you could fall in love with a 5'8" person,
I'm not y'all saying that like it's some magical mystical creature. 5'8" people are real and they have feelings too. What was that? You can fall in love with a 5'8" person like it's some kind of unicorn. That is just
some women prefer tall men. Now for a man, he don't care. He'll put 6'3" to 5'2", but it's saying don't limit your pool.
Right.
Yeah. So when you're checking your boxes and marking like what you're interested in, what you're looking for, expand your horizons so that you can have a bigger pool to be selected from. What?
You dressing my feelings are hurt. I'm 5'8".
Dre, it is.
See, I told her she wrong.
Dre, it is not. I'm not saying anything's wrong with the 5'8" person.
She called you a unicorn.
I'm 5'5". First of all, so anybody taller than me is tall. But the point I'm saying is that some women have preferences and they limit themselves and they leave out the Dre Morrisons of the world and miss them on social dating because they made their, requirements so limited. So it's just saying kind of open your options up.
All right. And going back to the pictures again, make sure that your pictures coincide with what you are looking for overall. If you are a woman who wants a relationship, then I want to say that word.
What?
I'm going to say less cheeks, okay, and more smiles and more like less skin. Because the thing is, if you are one, for example,
these cheeks.
Yes.
Okay.
So there was an example that Steve Harvey, I know y'all men and y'all be like, oh, he be whatever. But this was a good point. For those of y'all who go fishing, maybe y'all know, because I mean, I just took it from what he said. But he made a statement and said, when you go fishing, there's a certain kind of bait that you have to use for a specific kind of fish. You can't use one kind of let's say a worm or whatever to catch a trout catfish. Or a catfish or whatever. It's going according. If you want a sports fish, you put a certain bait on there. If you want a different kind of fish or bass, you put a different kind of bait on there.
That's right.
So in the same breath, we can't sit here and say like, oh, I'm looking for someone who really wants to get to know me. But when they go on your page, all they see is skin, you out drinking, and a lot of cheeks. Because in their mind, all you're only reaching out to and stimulating their physical side. So they're not going to look at you to say, oh, I'd really like to go and have a cup of coffee with her. That's not the first thing that's going to come to their mind. So we have to be mindful of what we're putting out there. Fellas, y'all do the same thing. So again, if what you're looking for is fun, it makes sense. If what you're looking for is not fun and you want something more secure, then make sure that your pictures reflect that, or else you're going to be pulling in the kind of people that you don't even want. But it's your own fault. You know, girls all the time, I keep getting these guys. They just want me for my body. Or they want to sleep with me. But all your pictures is this. And what do you what are you expecting to attract? That's what I'm saying. What were you expecting?
Somebody will be like, that's my wife. No, they're going to be like,
just because I show a lot of skin doesn't mean. Look, just like I don't remember what movie it was from, but when the guy I think someone had on a police uniform or something, and they were like, if you have on a police uniform and people are running up to you and saying, there's a crime, you can't, well, just because I'm wearing this police uniform doesn't mean I'm a cop.
Right.
Well, you look like it, so
it really
can tell the difference. So we have to do something about that. All right?
Absolutely. Okay. So the next one is, you want to read any comments?
Yeah, Dre said, well, I am unique, so I'll go ahead and be a unicorn.
Be a unicorn, my brother. Yes.
Restoration Health TV. Oh, hey, YouTube. Yes, less cheeks and more smiles.
Right. Yeah. Come on here. We've got way more valuable assets than that. So one thing you don't want to do, you guys, is you don't want to pretend to be something that you're not. You know, when you create your online profile, you could be an astronaut. You could be whatever you want to be. But it's recommended that you just be who you are, because you want to attract someone that's attracted to who you are, not who you pretend to be. Yeah. And then when they meet you and they realize you really don't like skydiving, you know, you really don't go bowling every week, you really don't, you know what I'm saying, love children. So don't try to be what you think someone else wants you to be. Just be yourself, because there's someone or several someones out there that will be like, come on, Dre.
I like that. Okay.
Chocolate, come on. Okay. Don't care. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, she paying attention. All right. Jameson said, Paige speaks volume. Says if you're a keeper or a throwback. See, Paige speaks volume. It really does. I mean, how many of y'all can say that you've met someone that you were interested in? Even maybe it's not even an online dating site, but you went to their social media page or Facebook, and you saw the kinds of things that they post. And even though physically you were attracted to them, when you saw how they think, you were just like, oh no, this ain't gonna work. That's happened to me several times. I'm okay, we had a good conversation. Then I go and see them putting up sexual stuff all the time, memes that are just no, we're not extremely inappropriate. All of that, we're not doing that.
No, we're not doing that. And even when I get friend requests, I have to go look at your page before I accept your friend request, because my piece is valuable, so I don't want stuff that's not peaceful coming across my timeline. I have to guard. We got to guard our peace, you guys. So yeah, family, friends, and anybody can get unfriended. Yes.
And another tip is make sure that you meet the person. If you all get to the point where you meet, that you meet them at a public place, okay, where other people are present. We are in a generation now where a lot of people are really quick to Netflix and chill, or they'll be like, "Oh, why don't I cook for you and you come over and we can?"
No, why not? No.
If you've never invited me out and I haven't met you out in public, the home should not be the first place you are meeting a stranger. Okay, that stranger danger you learned when you were young is still very much a thing. So if you guys have not gone past meeting in public, there's no reason for you to be stepping foot or for them to be stepping foot in your home. It's dangerous.
Okay.
All right.
So this might be a little confusing, But the universal law of dating and like rejection says that there will be thousands of people that want to date you, but there will be millions that won't. And you have to be okay with allowing those that don't want to be free to not want to date you. So what does that mean? Everybody that you're attracted to is not going to necessarily be attracted to you. So when it comes to online dating, you know, sometimes men, you may see a profile and you'd be like, oh, shorty this, and you know, and you reach out to her and she might be dry or ashy and you may get offended. She has the right to not want you.
She has the right to be ashy.
She has the right.
You have the right to be ashy.
Right.
But we just said don't be ashy when you're actually interested in the person.
When you're interested. Because then
the purpose.
Yeah, you may get cast back into. But you have to understand that it will be too hard to meet the people who do want you if you so focus on the people who don't want you. Yeah. And so what is that saying? Put your attention towards people that are showing interest in you. And you know, they say things about women that sometimes women will be attracted to the wrong man and will pursue him even though he's not showing her any indication that he's even interested in her. Right. And then the ones that are interested in you, you will be like, you know, blah, 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 woo, woo, woo. So yeah, flip that thing around. Let's get our minds right, y'all.
All right. They said, don't be afraid of ghosts. In the sense of
I hate ghosts.
People who you have a conversation with them for a short period of time and they disappear, because some people are just discouraged by dating all together because they feel like, oh no, you know, I don't want to put myself out there. And then there's so many people that are flaking. Or a lot of people, like we talked about in the past, feel like they're not ready because they don't know what they want. But what they were saying, that's actually the best time to date so that you can figure out what you do want and see what you like, that kind of thing. So as opposed to thinking like, oh, well, I don't want to waste people's time. Because, you know, I think like that too, to a certain extent. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to waste anybody's time. Let me just kind of figure things out and then I'll go. But they're like, no, you can do that while you're on the journey. Because remember, it's just a date. You're not committing to anyone. It's a conversation of getting to know somebody. So you can see, okay, well, maybe I like this kind of person or I don't like this kind of person. It helps you figure things out. So you don't have to wait until you've arrived at figuring it out. Just
figure it out along the way.
Until you figure it out.
Yeah. Okay? And then it's okay because you're single that you can say, I've come to a point.
I challenge y'all to get the plug.
Because I'm trying to tell you, you have the freedom to say, you know, we've been on a couple of dates and you don't have to tell them verbatim, but you know, in your mind, I've come to the realization that I don't like this kind of guy or I don't like this guy.
Right.
You know, and it's okay to not like somebody. You don't have to be, because I went on a couple of days. I'm not obligated to date you again or see you again. That's the whole purpose of dating, is to collect data.
Look, Kia said, that's so me. I'm not trying to waste a moment of anyone's time. Don't get it back. No, well,
okay. You know what? So time is actually something, the one thing you can never get back. But is it a waste of time if you're trying to figure out, because you're not saying no, you're just saying, let me see.
Yeah.
And it's okay to let me see.
Because it's not a waste, because you're gaining something from that moment, right? You're taking away what you like and what you don't like. So it's not necessarily a waste, but overall we tend to look at it as, oh, well, because I don't know, like if it doesn't go anywhere, then that was a waste. If it doesn't go anywhere, then you learn what you didn't like. So it's not a waste. So I think that if you are one of those people who feel like, oh, I want to wait till I know exactly what I want before I start dating, no, go ahead and start dating so you can figure out what you like and what you don't like, what you want and what you don't want. It'll actually be surprising in the way that it helps you.
Yeah, because sometimes we don't even know what we don't like until we encounter it.
Ooh, you know, that's the truth. Or you think you like something until you encounter it and you realize.
That's like somebody say, "Do you like Brussels sprouts?" Well, I don't know. I've never tasted them.
Once
you take, no, I have. But I'm giving an example that maybe there's someone out there that has not tasted Brussels sprouts, and they might say, you know, I don't know, but let me try it.
Yeah,
and then now I can definitively say no. But I actually do like Brussels sprouts, but they've got to be sauteed in butter and cooked with a certain seasoning. But the point is that,
all right.
Okay.
You want to take this one?
Okay. So, hey, my brother, Vernon Andre Booth Sr. says, so then while figuring out what you want, should he or she go all out on the first or even second date? So when you say go all out, like pull out all the stops, listen, Presentation is everything. First impressions are everything. So I would say if you're a man and you're attracted to a woman and you're interested in her, then why not show her your potential versus reserving who you are until you both figure out if this is someone you want to be with, because you showing who you are may be the turning factor to where she realizes, I do like this guy.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Just be you. Like, just be yourself. If that's something that you would typically do it. If it would be stepping out of your nature to go all out, don't do it. Just be yourself. Because again, you want someone who's gonna want you exactly the way you are. They get to see exactly how you are when it comes to things like that. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to go in trying to go outside of yourself. Just be yourself.
Just be yourself. So yeah, if you buy roses normally on the first date, then buy roses.
If you don't do it. Because once you introduce a woman to something you're not finna maintain, it ain't gonna work out.
And it ain't gotta be every day, but at some point it's gotta come back around, brother. But I think that's imperative though.
Yeah. Kia said mine was because of being a single mom, working, running kids to events, working. It just wouldn't have been fair.
So,
but there are some guys who would have been okay with that.
Yes.
You'd be surprised because there's men, especially men who have businesses or have kids, they understand. So if you were just restricting yourself altogether because you felt like, oh, it would be such a burden, and the other person, girl, get out there. Because I have friends now who are running, have several, because even people will say, oh, you have a certain amount of kids, the guys are going to want you. I have two friends that even have more than 5 kids. They both have men in their lives who are okay with that, helping them run the kids to their errands, they don't care. So there really is somebody out there for everybody. You have to put yourself out there for them to find you. Okay.
And Kia, you're a queen. So what man would not want to be with you and would not want to, date you and take you out? So we have got to stop thinking for others. Yeah. Because sometimes we'll be like, oh, I don't want to bother them. You don't even know if you're going to be a bother. Yeah. And so we will just not do stuff because of us thinking for other people. But we got to give people a chance to think for themselves. Right. Give them an opportunity to say no. And if they say no, it's okay. Why? Because my life don't depend on your yes.
Right.
At all. I digress.
Casey, hey Casey from YouTube. We got some YouTubers in the house today. We appreciate y'all. Yes. Casey said once you get engaged, do the rules change for an online page as far as what's appropriate? What's y'all's opinion?
It absolutely has to change.
Yeah. Your boundaries are different.
Yeah. Well, is it boundaries? But when you say you're engaged, you're saying I'm committed to somebody. Yeah. So if you're in a committed relationship, do you even need a dating page? Or do you keep your dating page?
Well, she said online page. I don't even think she means dating page.
Oh, like you're talking about social media.
Like the stuff. Well, I guess clarify, Casey, because I don't understand. Are you talking for a dating page, or you're saying like your online, the way that you present yourself on social media? Because if you talk about the way you present yourself, definitely needs to be.
Well, maybe we'll just answer both ways.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your answer for?
So I would say if it was a dating page.
Okay. So they said
social media. Okay. So social media. I would say, depending on what they were posting before. I mean, if they were posting things that had to do with, Women Crush Wednesdays that were people that weren't you, or posting things that just had to do with relationships, but in a, what's the kind of where I would
derogatory?
Say? Yeah, derogatory, where even thirst trap pictures that are like really trying to gain, that arouse sexual attention from people. Those kind of things definitely should stop, because now there's no need for them to be pulling that attention from others when they have you. So that's another thing. But as far as, I guess I would say on the flip side, what would you see in that sense that would make you feel like that shouldn't be there? Because I don't really know what else could be out there that would be like, oh, that needs to come down, unless it was inappropriate stuff.
There's the age-old issue of people wanting people to say, I'm in a relationship, I'm engaged, so they're wanting them to change their relationship status on social media. I would say if you're someone that your DM is really busy,
where it's popping,
right? Like popping, like just strangers, like, oh my God, you're gorgeous, oh my God, you're handsome, I want to get to know you, blah, blah, blah. I think it would behoove you to put like a deterrent out there to just stop the madness, because so many relationships are in trouble or broken up over social media. Mm-hmm. And me, I love Divorce Court, and I love, what's my other show? Steve Wilkos. Mm-hmm. So there are so many people that are on there with relationship issues because of what somebody wrote to their mate, not what their mate wrote. but what somebody else wrote.
You can't, and this is the thing, because I see this all the time. I've experienced this myself. One thing that I would say when it comes to social media, if you're with a significant other, clearly you find them attractive, right? You are not the only person with a set of eyes who finds them attractive.
Right.
So if your significant other posts a picture and maybe they have someone who's constantly putting hearts under there or saying, "Oh, you so fine."
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Has your significant other made it known that they're in a relationship? Okay, so if, let's say, he has it tagged that, "Hey, I'm engaged to so and so," but someone still keeps coming on there, "Oh, you so fine," and "Oh, you look so good." Hold on, 1 second. Excuse me. Sorry, it's not COVID.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Oh, it keeps saying try again. Come on.
But I'm pretty sure we're still.
Are we still there?
I don't know. Your phone died?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot I was even going to share that. What is going on? Hold on.
So, yeah.
Minute power. Oh, okay. No, it shows we're still on. All right. So if they've made it known that they engage or in a relationship and they have someone who's constantly just disrespecting the fact that it clearly says that they're in a relationship, that could be an issue where you can just say, "Hey, you should block that person and delete them," because clearly they're not respecting your boundaries, your significant other's boundaries even. But let's say they haven't put that they're in a relationship. So nobody on social media knows, and they have someone who's constantly saying something, then you would have to gauge it on the reaction of your significant other. If your significant other never responds, who cares? Because again, they have fans, they have people who are interested in them. They can look, they're not touching. Who cares? But if there's that, hard eyes back, or kissy faces, or
issues.
That's how you end up on Snap and Fatal Attraction.
Or Steve Wilkos with a lie detector test.
All of that. We're not doing that. So that I would say gauge it based on that.
Yeah, I think it needs to be taken seriously. When you make a commitment like that, you got to take it serious, So,
Vernon Andre Booth Sr.
All
I
right.
Say the whole name.
Come on, yeah.
He said, "I'm extra. I ain't trying to scare no one off. I got to be careful these days." And also pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, but you know what? That segues me into my next point. Okay. Of the do's and don'ts. It says, don't plan a complicated date. Start with the basics, okay? So it's tempting to be creative and plan this elaborate date, but don't underestimate the value of the tried and true standards.
Right. Keep it simple. Keep it real simple.
It says, while men like creative dates, they said they would prefer those types of dates later in a relationship.
Right.
So 62% of men polled are WTF are men thinking. It was a poll. It says, one said, dinner is always good as long as it's relatively casual. I think going too fancy on a first date can reek of desperation to impress. You're there to get to know each other, not to get involved in activities that present opportunities to ignore each other. So sometimes you can be so elaborate that there's not even an opportunity to talk or have a conversation because it's just like, it's pow, pow, pow. It's just like, it's a whirlwind. But at the end of the day, it's like, who is he? And she's, and you're like, who is she? So
right. And that also even segues me into
the
age-old, back in the day when we were younger, of course, and I've seen a few times where people have suggested still, you think they would know better at this big age, movies on a first date. Why?
You can't even...
What we gonna do sitting in the dark watching people on the screen? How am I gonna get to know you? By the time the movie's over, I still know nothing about you that I knew before the movie started.
What about dinner and movies?
I mean, dinner and a movie, at least a dinner we can
talk.
We can talk. Just to go to the movies, I feel like movies scrap that. Your first date, you always want to make it in an atmosphere where you guys can engage. You can go to like Dave and Buster's, be competitive, play, talk to each other, bowling, something, or just dinner. Go to the lake, somewhere where you guys can just talk, a coffee shop. Like keep it.
Go for a walk in the park after dinner. Walk some of that food off and just
all of that ice cream. Let's take it back old school.
And don't go with this premeditated set of questions like, how many kids you want, and
Have y'all had that? Anybody, fellas, ladies?
Oh.
We're first date and they already asking y'all like, so, I mean,
You want to have
you
more
want some
kids?
kids?
Like, bro.
Are you breeding right now?
Right. Like, you trying to make a decision on this first date? Why don't you get to know me? Then let's get to the questions.
Yeah.
So, you guys know that there's all these this game where you can like have these relationship questions.
Yeah, I have a ton of those.
Do you?
Yeah, remember?
But you got the one for relationships, and they also have the one for friends, and they've got one for something else. But that would be fun, but it wouldn't be fun until your relationship don't show up on the first day.
Asking all these, how have I helped you grow? I don't know you. Like, that's awkward. That's really awkward.
Yeah. And I think, some people just they think too much.
Too hard.
They think too much and too
overthink.
Hard. Just simplify. Just woosah. Just enjoy the moment. Just enjoy life. There's plenty of time. There's not a race to get to know people.
Yeah.
There's no race. Take your time.
JJ, hey JJ, she said, hey beautiful ladies.
Hey JJ.
I'm late due to work, but I'm tuned in for a nightcap.
Come on here.
Right on time, girl.
Well, we're talking about the do's and don'ts of
online dating. So what they're saying too. Now, again, let's just talk about this for a second. Considering online dating, you're not actually meeting the person face to face, and it's just conversation in the beginning. Do you consider dropping off? Now, mind you, this is a dating site. So we call that the revolving door, right? Because the minute that you're messaging someone else is messaging them. So they're trying to keep up and you're trying to keep up with all these conversations with different people. So if you find someone else that piques your interest more than the last person you were talking to, let's just say it's you, do you feel like that person needs to give you an explanation of, hey, I really enjoyed this conversation, but I found someone more? Or do you feel like it's understood that if they don't respond, clearly they found someone else and you don't consider that ghosting? Do you consider it to be ghosting if it's conversation, the conversation falls off? That's the question. Because what they were saying was a lot of people felt like, well, everything was going great. Maybe I was talking to them for like 2 or 3 days or maybe like a week. And then out of nowhere, we didn't, like they quit responding, right? So the question was, well, okay, would you have felt more comfortable if they came back and said like, hey, I met someone else that I find to be?
I mean, I feel like that would be courteous. Just a courtesy. Not because you owe me anything or not because, you know what I'm saying, we've reached a point where you should do that. You're obligated to do that. But I think it would be just a courtesy. If we're just chatting online, then you say, hey, I met somebody on here I really like. I want to be like, praise God, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? But and really a couple of days is like the minimum. The minimum. Nana is the only woman I know that ghosts. She will ghost people so quick. Whereas me, I don't
want to hurt feelings. Like, I'm the type, let me put it out to y'all this way. Did you
just say you don't want to hurt feelings?
Yeah.
So what do you think happens when you ghost somebody?
They don't. They just move on because I just
in your mind it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Because just move on, feel like
you know what they do, Nana? They sit up and they think about what did they do wrong? Why did she stop calling? How did I mess this up? And it's.
It's all right. It's all right. See, with me, I'm the type of person, like when I used to have an online dating profile, right? I could not respond to a message, even if I wasn't interested in the person, because I felt bad. I'm like, oh, they took the time to write me, so just let me at least be nice and respond. Yeah. But then they feel like, oh, she responded because she's into me. And they really start talking, and I'm like, so I don't respond anymore. And then, of course, they still feel it. So then a part of me is like, well, maybe I'm better off rejecting them from the jump and not even responding. So
but what are you rejecting them based off of? Because you don't know.
They're not my type. Like off top, like I'm just not attracted to them. But they wrote me, so I want to be nice and like respond back, you know? But then when they really start talking and they're feeling like, oh, you know, then it's like, oh.
No. So then you just stop conversations a lot. Okay.
But see, that's when it's online dating. Not if we have a phone number. Like,
but that's like a tightrope. Like, how do you walk that tightrope? Maybe you guys can kind of throw some stuff out here. When you do meet someone online, or not meet someone, but someone messages you and you know up front, off top, it will never become nothing. Do you just be cordial? You know what I'm saying? And do like Nana and eventually ghost them? Or do you just be upfront and say, you know, hey, thanks for reaching out to me. I'm not attracted to you.
That's so rude.
Well, I mean, there's other ways to say it.
How?
That's what I want them to tell us.
Like, hey.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Marcus said, if they want children, why waste time talking to somebody who doesn't, though?
True. But do you need to know that on the first date, Marcus?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know if you want to date that person, you know? Hey, Tamara Turner, Atterbury, how you doing?
All right. Tamara says, well, it depends on how long they've been communicating and how often they communicate with each other. You know, to suddenly ghost somebody with no explanation for me. We all grown. So whatever is going on, just put it out there and let it be known. For me personally, on dating online, it's a lot of people that respond to you and you respond to them. And it's very difficult to keep up. See, that's because who has the time to talk to everybody?
Right.
I met them. We're all on here for the same reason. If I don't come back, you know why. Yeah. It's very difficult to keep it up. But if I'm not truly interested, then I don't keep the conversation going. I just don't respond anymore. So I will ghost.
And I think there's more after that because there's a ...
Yes.
And so I'm going to log in so I can get the rest of that. But yeah.
I should have that. Oh, do I not? No, I don't.
I don't either.
Oh,
wait. Yeah.
For me?
No, mine's not even
showing.
Yeah. Well, Tamara, we're gonna get to the rest of your conversation in a minute, but I do want to
right here.
Discuss right here. Okay, go ahead.
So she said, very difficult
to keep up.
But if I'm not truly interested, then I do go. It keeps moving. I don't respond anymore. I will ghost the Negro. We did all that scrolling for I will ghost the Negro. All right. It'd be like that sometimes though.
Right. And so, but I don't know. I mean, if it's somebody you just talked online to a couple of days and you don't respond, that's not, to me, that's not ghosting.
Yeah.
That's just
why I say come to the territory.
A ghosting is when you've been talking to somebody for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Y'all done FaceTime, you done, had phone conversations, and all of a sudden you just never hear from them again. They never respond to you again. And you're like, what the heck?
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't even see that. She said you don't have to log it. I said I would ghost the Negro. Okay.
Yeah, they put it on there.
So when it goes to actual ghosting, let's say you guys did exchange phone numbers, you all have been communicating, but you feel like, hey, this is not working out. The etiquette for that, since y'all are saying ghosting isn't good, which I mean, I know that, but it's just hard to not. You can say these few things instead of ghosting.
Oh.
So this is really to myself.
Okay.
Number 1, I've loved getting to know you, but I don't feel a connection. Thank you for your time.
That's perfect. I can relate. I mean, I can receive that.
The next one.
I can receive that. The next one says, I got a lot going on in my life, and I am not able to prioritize our friendship / relationship. But if you got so much going on, why are you on this date now? Right now. So maybe this.
That's why I laugh, because that one just sounds like an excuse. I got a lot going on.
I got a lot going on. Like, why you even on here? Right? Why do you even have a profile?
Okay, the next.
But I think that would work good. Like if you met somebody outside, like if you somebody out in the world,
life.
Yeah, in real life, and you guys went on a date a couple of days, and you're like, you know what? I realize I got a lot going on in my life right now, and I don't see how I can fit this situationship in.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
The next one says, this isn't working for me anymore. I hope you can understand. That sounds so hurtful. What you mean?
You're talking about me being blunt. That is very blunt. Hey,
don't say that to me.
Just randomly, hey, this isn't working for me anymore. I hope you understand. Like, no,
I don't.
There's
no
you
didn't tell me why. Like, why? What changed? What do you mean anymore?
Right, like
when was
it working and when did it stop?
I don't like that one.
Yeah, so I don't either. Okay, let's see. The next one says, I feel that my boundaries aren't respected in this relationship and I don't want to continue seeing you. That's a good one. But it needs to be a situation where your boundaries are really not being respected. And then what do you do when the man comes back and says,
every day,
right, but what do you do when the man comes back and says, well, teach me your boundaries. I want to learn. I want to be able to respect your boundaries, But if you're just using it as an excuse to not say I'm ghosting you, then that could be a conundrum right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the last one is, I don't want any further contact with you because fill in the blank, and please respect my decision.
That's okay. I really like number one.
Yeah,
I think number one was the nicest and the most sweetest way that you could tell somebody that I want to discontinue this conversation, this dating, or whatever we're doing. So that was pretty cool. Awesome. Okay, well, listen, we have covered a lot on today. We want to thank all of you that joined us from YouTube on tonight. Remember, you guys, that we're on YouTube and Facebook. That's what made me bring up that. Hold on. Taibu Muad'Dib says Nana ain't wrong. What Nana ain't wrong about?
How that goes?
Oh, because she ghosts people? Okay. Well, I guess to those that have been ghosted, they may look at it a different way. But if, like you said, if it's just somebody you've been talking to for a couple of days, come on, go. You shouldn't be that invested. It's only been we've only been talking a couple of days or a week. But like I said, one of the things I was sharing with a male friend of mine is that there are some women who, once they realize a guy likes them, don't even worry about it because we're still alive. Okay. Once they find a man that likes them, they will already imagine what their kids are going to look like. They'll imagine where they're going to live. They imagine their wedding day. And it's like, he hasn't even expressed
it's not that deep.
It's not that deep. But we'll go into this fairy tale land, and then we put all these unrealistic expectations on somebody we don't even know. So that is the road to being hurt.
Yes. And Casey says, compliment them. Tell them they are beautiful, but we are not compatible. Tell them they will make a great partner for someone one day. Oh, yes. That's really good. We're going to use the sandwich method.
Right. The sandwich method.
Yeah.
You're a great person,
but
not for me, but you're for somebody. I love that. Thank you, KC. That is the cream of the crop right there. I think that might have superseded number one.
Yeah.
So Nana, now you know what to say versus just ghosting people.
Right. I'll try not to.
But you may not be able to say they're a beautiful person, but just say you're a cool person, because
I just don't be wanting to hurt people's feelings.
Right.
But I know,
but that would
help.
be yeah.
I'm working on it, y'all. I'll check in.
She takes the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
So I believe we helped our listener that had the first question,
and y'all helped me. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, we helped her. And then the listener with the second question that said, look, I'm struggling with my social dating. I believe that we've given plenty of
nuggets. You got a lot of good stuff
nuggets
on here tonight.
Even for those of you that are out there dating, some of you need to go to your online dating profiles right now and take down those pictures of you with no shirt on, and take down the boobies and take
the cheeks.
Down, right, and then remove all the little hidden lines in there. No, you don't ski. Take it out. It's okay, because somebody's going to read your profile and think you're an amazing person. They're going to reach out and you're going to connect and you're going to date, and it's going to be awesome.
Okay.
All right.
So that concludes. That was the question. Both questions.
Yeah.
Hopefully you all enjoyed the conversation, and
Absolutely.
hopefully you shared the video. If you haven't, you still have time.
Yes.
Again, if you have enjoyed this conversation, please make sure that you donate if you feel led. All right. So it's $sign WOP Radio, which is how we are able to bring you guys great content every week, and upgrade with the little fancy background and little technical stuff. It helps us to be able to
our living room
pour into
That's
y'all.
how we afforded this grand piano.
Okay. The villa. Come on now. That's how we're able to pour into y'all every week. So please do that if you feel led. Also, if you haven't already, y'all saw we had some YouTubers jump in the room tonight, which we really enjoyed. All of y'all, Jameson and Casey and the health dental restoration.
Yes.
Thank you all for
Health
joining
TV.
in. Yes, we thank you all so much for joining us on tonight. Again, you can subscribe. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We don't care if you never watch us from there, but again, it helps with the algorithm. So please do us a solid and do that. All right.
Just go to YouTube, type in Women of Power Radio Show, click the follow, click the like, and what's the other one? Notifications?
Yes, the bell. So you get all the notifications. All of them. Okay. And lastly, you all know where we get these questions from y'all. So if you have a question that you would like us to answer, you want some feedback, make sure that you DM us right here on Facebook. You can put it in the comments if you don't care about being anonymous, or you can email us at womenofpower5@gmail.com, and we will make sure that we handle that for you. All right, because again, this is where we get in your business for your benefit.
For your benefit.
Okay, all for your benefit.
We're here for you.
Always. All right, so thanks again for joining us tonight. You all have a great... Oh, we lost the videos.
Yes, we did.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. So yeah,
we did want to have an outro.
Right.